Yeah, let's begin. Let's start our Frequency Friday today. And before I hand over the time to Marcus, Marcus sent me a short video yesterday to upload to the Webinar Jam platform today to show. And I was actually quite amazed about the video, and I was looking forward to hear the explanation to the video. And he's here with us today, our founder and visionary, Marcus Schmieke. Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Frank. Nice to see you, and nice to see all of you. I'm a little hiding here in the boat because outside the sun is still so strong. It's a very beautiful summer even here in Germany, and I'm very, very happy here to be with you because so much new things are just coming up while enjoying the summer here in Germany. And I just like to share. I like to share the things which excite me. And it's still about frequency. So I'm keeping learning about frequencies more and more and how they affect our life basically daily. Not daily our life wouldn't be there without frequency. So yeah, and you mentioned already the video. It was something spontaneously because Frank, I think it was you who reminded me that Frequency Friday is coming, and you said, do another lesson on frequencies. And there's really something very deeply on my mind. I'm just organizing a small conference with a Italian professor Giuseppe Vicello, who has discovered this very deep connection between the quantum vacuum and living matter, and how fundamental frequencies are about in this dialogue between the immaterial and the material. He's working with a Nobel laureate, whose name is Luc Montagnier. And it's a whole group of Italian researchers who are looking very deeply into this relationship between the immaterial and the material. And they're like so much, I would say, almost like, yeah, connected, almost so connected. And I contacted Professor Vicello, and he agreed to have a conference with us and to work with our team in discussions about this. And it's all about how, from a very deep level of the background of our consciousness, you can almost say from the soul, from our deep personality, the order of life manifests through frequencies on the level which we can see. And the small video which we yesterday produced very spontaneously, what you see is without cut. It's really okay, there are two cuts in the beginning where you see me, and in the end again, but everything in between, what you see is live recording. So you will see how through resonance frequencies are creating patterns in space, beautiful shapes which you can easily imagine can be like morphogenetic fields to shape our cells, to shape the molecules within our body, or to shape something even deeper, to shape the water, from which is the underlying substance of our whole material existence. Like you remember, maybe last Frequency Friday, I made the statement that water is the material form of the information field. You can say information field is the immaterial form of water. There is this mirror, and the mirror is this level of the quantum potential. And it's mirroring the material to the immaterial. And we are not a material being. We are not like Madonna once was singing, I'm a material girl. Of course, we are a material boy and a material girl. We are this, but on the other hand, we are also an immaterial person, which is eternal. Whereas everything we do here is temporary. But today I was on a walk in the forest, and I thought about this. What is actually more important, to take care of the eternal or to take care of the temporary, which is right now going on? And both sides are true, because of course the eternal, the soul, is very important, and we really have to take care of this aspect, this immaterial aspect of ourselves. But the material, because it is temporary, because every moment is lost in a second, it's as valuable. So that's an amazing, you can say, complementarity in life, to simultaneously how to say, appreciate the eternal existence of our soul and the beauty of the moment, which will just pass and will be just gone the next second, and just be present and appreciate and experience and enjoy life as it is now. It's not only just pure enjoyment, there's also suffering, there's everything which belongs to life, but that's the experience which we should so much appreciate. So I'm very fascinated by frequencies to be the mediator between these two levels, and this is what I'm working on with our research group to discover deeper and deeper secrets. So what about this, which also can be used directly in new Healy programs. But coming back to the small video, it's just a small demonstrations how by changing the frequency very gradually, newer and newer material forms emerge from the chaos. And the chaos here is sand. You will see it, which is just dropped on a plate, which vibrates at certain frequencies. You might have known it already, but it's very interesting. So just have a look. I hope you the internet allowed everyone to see you. Could you see the small movie?
Yes, we could see it.
Okay, great. And you could also hear it. You could hear the frequencies. I think this was the first movie with the loud frequencies. Actually, being there in the room, it was much stronger because you need quite a volume of the frequencies to move the sand, because this is a little gross sand, but it worked. So I had to almost close my ears. I hope you could bear it. And we will share this video with you. And it is a beautiful metaphor, which actually comes very close to how any forms, any shapes in the material living matter manifest, but also globally on this planet. Starting with the cells, going down to the biomolecule level, but even going deeper down to the level of the water. Imagine these grains of sand to be water molecules, which are small dipoles, which are small quantum oscillators. So all these water dipoles, they start to vibrate if you give a certain frequency according to, and that's very important, according to the size, the dimensions, and the shape of the plate. You have seen the small square plate where the sand was on. If this wouldn't be limited, if it just would be like a never-ending plate and the frequencies would vibrate through it, you wouldn't see the shape. So it's the power of the boundaries. It's the power of the borders, of the power of the limits. There's a beautiful book from a Hungarian architect whose name I could never pronounce. He starts with G. It's called The Power of Limits, where he shows that through this frequencies, if you limit the expansion of frequencies and of waves according to the dimensions of the limitations, where you put the borders or the boundary, different shapes emerge. So that's very important. So those who couldn't see the frequencies, we will share this video with all of you. So the question is, how does the analogy work? What is this black plate which is vibrating? You can say it's the invisible background of creation, of the material energy. Matter actually comes from materia, which is from mater, which means mother. So it's a female soil, it's a female energy which is underlying creation, and which is through the vibrations of consciousness, through the vibrations of the underlying principle which presents order, it is carrying this process of emerging shapes and forms. So this is, you can say this black plate is something like the quantum vacuum underlying, or you can say it's the information field. And the information field has resonance frequencies. And going through this resonant frequencies, the sand shapes. And the sand represents matter on different levels. So we could actually use sand with different size of the grains of sand to demonstrate this, how on different levels, like on the deep level, the water molecules are vibrating. On a little more explicit level, it's the biomolecules within the cells, and then on the next level, it's the cells themselves, or in our brain, it's the neurons, which are through the frequencies of the brain waves vibrating in certain spatial matters, and in this way recreating the very same electromagnetic brain waves. So it's an interplay between the waves and the neurons. So that's, yes, there are many questions. Yes, Dozy Georgi, I can't pronounce it, Edit, yes, that's right. It's shared by Edit, who's from Hungary, in the chat, the name of the Hungarian architect, because the book is very beautiful. It's called The Power of Limits. So we will share this video with all of you so you can use it. And I already discussed with our team that on the basis of this, we would like to create a small explanatory video, how to show the effect of frequencies to us, or how to visualize it, make it visible, related to the cell, related to the organs, so that it's easier to explain how frequency works. So I already mentioned that the foundation of reality, the underlying plate, the soil which is actually carrying everything, is by nature female. And today I believe we will talk a little more about the female power also in Healy world. And we are very, very much aware how so many women all over the world who participate in Healy world are really doing the work. And so we need more female leadership inside the company and also in the field. So this is happening right now, and I'm so happy about it. And thinking about it, I actually realized that there were amazing women who also inspired me on my way to where we are now, also with Healy and with the whole knowledge about information field and frequencies. And I would just like to share my memories on one of these amazing persons, amazing women, which I have met in my life, and who so much inspired me and changed my vision of the world and also my attitude towards this. One of them was a very famous German architect. Her name was Professor Mirete Matern. And actually, when I was talking to in the morning about it, I didn't have a photo of her. Maybe Frank can share the photo, because we found this today. She was very young that time. And when I got to know her, Mirete was already 67 years old. And the first meeting was one of the most extraordinary experiences which I had with meeting people, because she started to tell stories. And I thought the stories were, it was 1996 actually, when on the day when I started the Vedic Academy, it was a public celebration, and she arrived late in the evening, and the owner of the castle where we started the academy introduced me to her, and she started to tell stories from her life. And I thought, oh my God, this lady, she has an amazing imagination. The stories sound so fantastic, they cannot be true. But later I realized that in the stories, people showed up who I knew, and I more and more realized these fantastic stories might be true. And later I could validate many of them. And she told me stories from her childhood when she started with 3 years old. Just and it sounds like imagination. She left her body and she started travel to the universe and travel to other planets and galaxies and experienced realities there which were so beautiful and so admirable that she came back, and from that moment she tried to realize this what she saw on her imaginary journeys. She tried to realize it in form of architecture, in form of designing gardens. And her parents actually were the two professors, very, very famous, who started in Germany the federal garden shows, garden expositions. Until now, it's a tradition. So, and there's so much to tell about her, but one of my most beautiful experiences was when she shared her vision of what she called the world or global garden of peace. Each culture on this planet has a certain art of gardening. Especially if you look in Asia, you see how the Japanese Zen gardens are done. Probably in Australia, there are certain traditions of gardenings, and you have probably beautiful gardens in the United States. The garden is kind of a symbol of the soul, where you're taking care of all the life and all the variety which is growing there, which is with the harmony of the animals and the plants and the fruits and so on. And in this World Peace Garden, there all the different cultures of the world would have their garden there, and the wise women and the wise men of these cultures would live there, come together and share all the different perspectives of the one world, of one humanity, on the one spirit, which looks so differently if you hear about it from different religions or from the scientists, the truth. But ultimately, this truth is one, and to realize it and simultaneously experience and appreciate the variety and all these different perspectives. It was such a beautiful vision, and we had an association to start to realize this kind of gardens. And if I look at it now, I see that Healy World is really, I would imagine Healy World to be to become such a beautiful world peace garden, where all the cultures of the world come together as we are doing it now, and celebrating the variety, celebrating the different approaches to life, and create a common culture of all these different spiritual approaches and scientific knowledge, and bring it to an organic, very integral, wonderful piece of beautiful garden. So I'm very much I'm very much inspired by this vision, and I believe that the garden doesn't have to be just a garden as we have it on our land, but it can be a garden of us as beautiful humans who need to understand how we are always connected to Mother Earth, depending on her, and realize this amazing grace and this amazing gift which we are given, which we are not given as a present. Just it's almost like only borrowed, and we will pass it over to the next generation, and just really think about it, how we can make a difference on this planet, because it's so much shifted towards the male ideas of rationality and dominance and ruling it over and creating technology which will just force nature to do things which it would never even get the idea of doing it for itself. Doesn't mean that I'm against technology. I mean, we are a high-tech company, but we should connect this more rational approach to the deep female approach of feeling and intuition, and seeing the integral unity of it, and again connect the high ideas and ideals and technology with Mother Earth, which is actually part of ourselves, and we are part of her. So these are things which I come to my mind if I remember Merete Matern, who was, even when she was beyond 70 in the last years, we also spent together, and she was always, wherever we came, started to dance and create such a beautiful spiritual environment. So it's a great Vorbild for me, as we say in German. Vorbild, I don't know, a role model, and keeps inspiring me to transform together Healy world into such a beautiful spiritual garden. So this was something on my heart today when I heard that you will be talking about also female leadership. And yes, this is keeping me inspired.
Well, thank you very much, Marcus Schmieke, our founder of Healy World. Thanks for sharing your insights into the gardens. I think a lot of people will look at their garden in a different way now. But also, as Marcus said, we will, of course, share this video with you later today. So thank you, Marcus, for taking the time, and enjoy your early evening and your weekend. And thanks for being with us. Thank you, Marcus.
Thanks to everyone, and wish you still a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.